Hello and welcome to part 4 of this 10-part series on CAGED chords and arpeggios. If you haven't seen the other videos yet, click on the card above and that will take you to this short playlist where we go through major, minor and major 7th arpeggios. So for this week we'll be looking at minor 7th arpeggios. The first thing we'll do is kind of work out what a minor 7th arpeggio is, okay? So what they are, it's all the notes that make up a minor 7th chord in a particular area, okay? So minor 7th chord is built up of a root note, a minor 3rd, a perfect 5th and a minor 7th. So a minor 3rd is 1.5 tones in size. So this is to say we do C minor, so it's equivalent to 3 frets on the guitar. So C to E flat will be 1.5 tones in size. And then you've got the perfect 5th, which is 3.5 tones or 2 up from your E flat there. So that equals 3.5 tones in size. That's a perfect 5th. And a minor 7th, which is 5 tones in size. There's a quick little trick I like to do to go back a tone from the root note to get your minor 7th interval. So in all the grids that I'm going to be putting up on the screen, so you can see where all those intervals are. So it's really useful before you start playing the arpeggios to have an idea of the notes. Okay, so it's all this stuff kind of really helps your playing and your overall music theory. Cool. So let's take a look at the 5 open minor 7th shapes first. Okay, so the C shape. What we're going to do is put your really nice chord. This minor 7th chords are just really nice on the whole. So you'll use them a lot in millions of songs, and again, the arpeggios are great for various reasons. So middle finger 3rd fret A, first finger 1st fret D, 3rd finger 3rd fret G, little finger 4th fret B. Okay, so that's C minor 7. This one doesn't actually have the 5th in it, it's still considered a minor 7th chord. So really nice shape. So it's just middle 4 strings, you can move it anywhere. And it sounds great. Okay, so then you've got A minor 7. So you've got your middle finger 2nd fret D, first finger 1st fret B. So it's like a normal A minor chord without your 3rd finger. And it's this G note here that's the minor 7th note. So really nice shape. Okay, so that's the A minor 7 shape. And now we're going to do the G minor 7 shape. Really nice, jazzy, really common chord as well, this one. Really nice. Middle finger, 3rd fret low E. Block the A string out and the other high E string. And then block the D string. Sorry, you're barring your 3rd finger on the D, G and the B strings. It's a G minor 7. And easily movable, that chord. Really nice as well. Cool, then we've got E minor 7. Really easy in the open position, and not actually that common in the open position, because it sounds a bit clangy. You're more likely to play it a different way if you're in this area of the neck, but when you move it up the neck it sounds great. So that's just your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, okay? It's that open D string, that's that minor 7th note there. And then we've got D minor 7, okay, so bar the 1st fret on the B and the E strings, and then middle finger 2nd fret G, and then strum on the D string. So they're the 5 open chords. Minor 7, C, C minor 7, A minor 7, G minor 7, E minor 7 and D minor 7. And now we're going to be moving those up the neck. So the C minor 7, because it's got no open strings, it's really easy to move it up the neck. So say if we did it, we're going to move all our chords in the key of D minor. So we're just going to move them up. This one here, just simply move it up 2 frets. So middle finger's on the 5th fret, 5, 3, 5 and then 6. So that would be D minor 7, we would say D, so you get the root note, do it in 3 parts, the root note, the type of chord and the shape. So D minor 7, C shape. Okay, so really useful. Again, we can assign these to the pentatonics as well. So also just a bit of theory knowledge here. A minor 7th arpeggio is 4 out of the 5 notes of the minor pentatonic. The only thing it's omitting is the perfect 4th interval. So you'll see these shapes when we do them very, very similar to the minor pentatonics. You're just taking out this perfect 4th interval, okay? So it's worth bearing that in mind. Okay, so that's the C shape. So now we're going to move that A shape up. So again, lots of open strings here, A, G and E string. Now play that with your middle and 3rd fingers. Block off the 0 fret, so it will look slightly different. And now we're going to move that, so our 1st finger, same root note as your C shapes, so the C and A shapes have the same root note. That's D minor 7 A shape. You would have probably come across this before. Brilliant chord. So D minor 7. A shape. Okay, and now we'll do the same with G shape. Again, no open strings here. We can just simply slide that up. And now our D on the E string, so root note for the G shape here is on the E string. Like D minor 7, G shape. Great chord there. Okay, and then we're also now going to do the E shape. So we normally play with the middle finger, but then we can use your third finger so we can kind of block off this open strings here. Again, same root note as a G shape, so 10th fret. So that's D minor 7, E shape. Great, again, sort of jazzy chord, but used a lot in rock and pop as well. So it's D minor 7, E shape. And then you got the D shape, which is this is the original D shape. Now we're also going to play it. We'll play the arpeggio here, and then also just to show you how you move it up. Instead of doing your first finger barring the B and the E, and then middle finger, second fret G, you're going to play it with your little middle and third fingers in order to move it, because we've got to close off this D string, which is where your root note is. Okay, and then we'll just play it an octave higher. So your first finger's on the 12th fret of the D, so it's 12, 14, 13, 13. It's a really nice shape as well. That's D minor 7, and then the D shape in 2 positions. It's again really useful stuff here. You're going to be learning your notes, and eventually going to be assigning it to the minor pentatonic as well. So again, learning all these different chord voicings, it's also really useful. So what we're going to do is play D minor 7 arpeggios up the neck. And the first thing we do is locate where the first D minor 7 chord is. Okay, so it's this one here. And as we can see from the diagram above, it's the D shape. Okay, so what we've got, you can play this one slightly different with the fingers, and I do it in 2 positions. I'm going to do it here, and then I'm also going to do it here, because you won't need to use the fingers I've suggested here. So all the numbers corresponds to the suggested fingering. You don't have to use these, but these work really well for me and a lot of my pupils. And obviously the green dots there are where the chords go. Okay, so you can see those chords and how they link closely to the arpeggio. And any numbers with an R in means they're the root notes as well. So it's really good to be conscious of where the root notes are. Okay, so this one here, you can kind of just start on the 1st fret of the low E. So you're going to go 1, 0, 3, 0, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, 1. Over the chord. So this one looks a little bit different because you've got to visualize those open strings. And you don't have to, it's no point using the same fingers. Use your 1st, 2nd and 3rd fingers here. So 1, 0, 3, 0, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 0, 3, 0, 1. So get people to, when you're practicing this, do the chord first, then the arpeggio, and then finish on the chords. It really reinforces it. Okay, so now what we're going to do, so that's the letter D in the word cage, and now we're going to our C shape. Okay, so it's D minor 7 C shape, and I'm going to do this arpeggio. So I'm going to go 5, 3, 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 6, 3. Again, be conscious of the fingers I'm using here. 6, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 3, 5. Okay, you don't have to use these fingers, but this works really well. And then it looks very similar to the 3rd shape of the minor pentatonic. Okay, so that's your D minor 7 arpeggio in the C shape. Okay, and now we're also going to do the A shape. Okay, so you're going to go 5, 8, 5, 8. So 5, 8, 5, 8, and then the 7th fret, 7, 5, 7, 6, and then 5, 8. Some really nice runs and things like that. Again, you can incorporate hammer-ons, pull-offs, things like that. Rakes and things like that sound really cool, and you'll give you some more variety in your solos. So 8, 5, 6, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 8, 5, and then finish on the chord. It's also worth mentioning, in theory-wise, think of the minor pentatonic. If you know your 5 shapes of the minor pentatonic really well, take out the perfect fourth. So if we're in D minor, perfect fourth is 2.5 tones. Okay, so if you just imagine that from D, one tone it's E, E to F sharp's 2, F, what am I doing? D to E is 1, E to F sharp is 2, F sharp to G is 2.5. So that's G note is the note that we're taking out of the pentatonic. So if you just think about our original shape, it's going to go that G there, you're missing out, and that one there. And then on your C shape, it was the G, there, there, and there. Okay, so you're missing it. It's just good to see how that compares to the pentatonic. Okay, and then this one here, you missed out the G's here. So you missed out the 2 G notes here. The G shape here, again, this is very similar to the 5th shape of the minor pentatonic. You're going to missing out this G and then this G. So you're going to go, this is D minor 7 G shape. You're going to go 8, 10, and then 8, 7, 10, 7, 10, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10, 10, 7, 10, 7, 8. And they give you different patterns for your solos. Really, really useful. If you're ever playing over a chord progression that has a chord outside the key, these are perfect for that. Really add some nice variety. So that's your D minor 7 in the G shape arpeggio, and then we've got our E shape. Okay, so again here we're just taking out the perfect fourth, the G notes here from the minor pentatonic. Again, most people know that as the first shape of the pentatonic. We're just taking out that perfect fourth, which is your G. So really nice again, use the fingers I've suggested, also great as warm-up exercises as well. And then we can do the same arpeggio that we did here, the D minor 7, but just do it with the fingering I've suggested in the diagram there. So middle finger, 13th fret, yeah, so middle, then first, then little, first, then third. It's good to be consistent with your fingers. You might not always solo with these fingers, but it's good especially as a warm-up and also to learn the shapes. You know, you might do other ways of playing these, but this will be great just to learn the shapes. So that's your D minor 7. So we've just done D minor 7, arpeggio, up the neck. Again, you can keep going across the neck. So we did this D shape first, C shape, A shape, G shape, E shape, D shape, and then you just keep going. Okay, cool. So now what we'll do, we'll just do the same thing, but in a different key. So we'll just keep the same thing with doing the root notes of D, and then we're going to do B now. Okay, so again, the idea of this is you're going to find the first available B minor 7 chord on the neck, okay? That allows you to really learn the neck well. Otherwise, you just, you don't want to just, the first C shape available, for example, because of the notes in the B minor 7 chord, because it has an F sharp, it's going to be the C shape up here rather than down here. You can actually have B minor 7 here, which sounds brilliant. But the first arpeggio shape that can realistically do, because we've got this F sharp note, is the A shape. So we're going to do A, and then we'll do G, E, D, C, and so on. So it's really useful to know all this stuff. So again, let's work out the notes of the B minor 7 first. So you've got a minor third, so B to D. And then you've got a perfect fifth, which is another 2 tones, that's 3.5 tones, that's F sharp. With the minor 7th, quick trick, go down a tone from the root note, which is B down to A. So you've got B, D, F sharp and A. Okay, so let's take a look at that A shape first then. treble. Okay, so that's your B minor 7 A shape. Then we'll do the same with the G shape. Oops. Sometimes if the frets are getting big, you could also change to your middle and four fingers for this. But up here you probably won't want to, but yeah, maybe down here, maybe use your little finger a little bit more. So that's the G shape, B minor 7 G shape. Now do B minor 7 E shape. Okay, and finish off with the chord. And then we've got D shape. So this is B minor 7 D shape now. Obviously it looks quite a bit different from that shape, even though it's exactly the same shape, just fingering it slightly differently. Start with the middle finger. Again, see where the arpeggio, where you start the arpeggio in relation to the root note. You're not always going to start from the root note. See, that's our first shape started on the perfect fifth there. The second A shape started on the fifth. The third shape, the G shape, started on the minor 7th. And the only one really that started on the actual root note was the E shape. And you're always going to follow an order. So if you start with the flattened third, you're then going to go to the fifth, then going to go to the flattened 7th, then you're going to go to the root. So it always goes in order. And that's what gives it its really nice sounds and shapes. So B minor 7 D shape, then first, fourth. So that's the D shape, and then finally we'll finish off with our C shape. So get some really nice stuff going on here. Patterns, give you some other options for your solos. So I hope you've enjoyed that video and found this useful. If you'd like to get hold of any of the diagrams, so this diagram that I'll put up on the screen with all those that I made, you should find that really useful. So if you want that PDF and also the guitar profile, so all the sort of the D major stuff and B minor, I've put all that in a guitar profile so you can practice it with the metronome, loop it, slow it down. And also change keys and things like that in Guitar Pro, or if you don't have Guitar Pro you can even have it in PDF. So these will be available from the shop at jsmusicschool.co.uk. So all these different, you can get files from all the 10-part series that I've done so far. Please give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. Any comments or suggestions, feel free to let me know, and subscribe and hit that bell icon if you haven't already. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers, bye.